Hey y'all, it's Swiftfire and Squeaky Sheep here to talk about how to update the raid module should we choose to use it, as opposed to using the calendar module. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and locate the raid module. Right now it's on the way station. When it moves to the main site you'll find it there, but right now we're going to find it right here. So let me scroll down to it. Alright, so I've completely deleted everything from the raid module so that we can go through the process of creating a new event as well as adding members and a raid for a specific day. So the first thing you're going to do, if you haven't already, is going to head and create the event. So I've got our forums here open, and I see that we have raids on the 21st and the 23rd. One for hits and one's dreads. So right now we're going to do hits raid. So the first thing I'm going to do is add an event. And you only have to do this one time. Once you create an event for your team, it's going to be there permanently. And then you just create a raid for that event on whatever days you're going to be doing raids. So I'm going to create an event name, and that is going to be Silent Hit 86's Widowmakers. Vault of Glass for the X-Bone, I do believe. Is Widowmakers one word? I think it is. Yes. Alright. So there's our team name. Now we're going to add our event, so it's going to be Vault of Glass on the Xbox One. And we're going to click Add. Aha! There it is. Okay. So now we're going to go to Raids. And let's see, okay, so we're raiding on October 21st. So we raided on October 21st, I should say. We're going to change this to the 21st. And then the time of the raid, I'm just going to guess and say 6 p.m. And then you can make a note about the raid. Unfortunately, this is a HTML text area attribute, which means that we cannot add links or anything of that nature, any sort of HTML or BB code to the note. So here, what I'm going to do right now, unless I decide to update this, is I'm just going to go here and copy the link. And I'm going to go over here and paste it. And what this allows users to do, or members, is to copy the text that they see and then paste it into their web browser to visit the link instead of being able to click on something. Because like I said, it's a text area, so we can't do any sort of HTML or BB code. So I'm going to go ahead and add. And here we have a raid for October 21st for the Vault of Glass on Xbox One for Silent Hits Widowmakers. So we're going to click on this. And here we have our note, quote unquote, with the link to the thread. There we go. Now, alternatively, if we wanted it to say, so maybe we wanted to advertise Vault of Glass for Xbox One, and then members weren't real specific about or particular about who the raid leader was, we could simply create an event, add event, and let's just say we're doing Vault of Glass for the 360. Alright. And if we find that they're not real particular about who the raid leader is, yada yada, we could simply do it this way, where we have Vault of Glass for 360, and then in the note we could put, okay, so this is going to be the team, Turbo's team. So we'll do, how about Turbo's killers? I don't know. We'll just go with that. Okay. So it's going to be Turbo's killers. And then if we still wanted to, we could add a link to another thread, one of his threads. So let's go and find one of Turbo's threads. Here's one. Copy link location. Go back and paste it. So here's the two different ways we can do things. We could do things with top level names, or we could do generic events that when clicked on tell whose team it is. So those are the two different ways we could do things. Let's make an example of Hits Widowmaker's raid a few days ago. So here we have the view for this specific raid. The raid that was on this day, or continues to be this group of people. So we're going to find some members to give him for that raid. So let's just say Dread was there. Obviously Hit was there. Who else has a receptor? And Chip. So now I can go into Hit's raid, and I can add raiders to his raid. So let's say Dread was going to raid, Hit was going to raid, Receptor was going to raid. And then let's say Chip signed up to be an alternate. So we're going to add his raiders, and then Hit's going to be the host. So we'll say host or leader or raid leader or whatever you prefer. And then we can go through and let's say Receptor was a main list raider. And then let's say Chip is maybe one of the alternates. He's not on the main list, but he's there in case someone else drops out. So we're just going to type in alternate raider. And there we have our list. So you can see here's our raiders. We've already got an alternate. Here's the host. And we go back to raids. So here we have our raid on the 21st for Hits Widowmakers, for Xbox One, for Vault of Glass. And here's the people that are going to be involved in the event. You can edit this at any point in time if you want to update the time or the date or something like that. If you're going to cancel, I would also use that to say, hey, this is canceled. If you can spell it correctly. Maybe I did. I don't know. Or you can just simply delete the event. However, that may lead to some confusion with members who are just like taking a glance at their raid module to see what's going on. But this is just a alternate to using the calendar system if we choose to use it. It's made for actual like MMORPG raiding where they have specific loot items that have to be passed down to certain members depending upon their DKP points. And those are dragon kill points. That has nothing to do with dragons. I had to do a Google search on it. I didn't even know what it was. But basically it's a point system that the clan uses to determine who gets what item and things like that, from my understanding. Obviously we're not going to be using that, so we don't have to use loot or items. If you go into members, this is just the most generic point system that I could assign the module. This participation, 30 days, 60 day, 90 day lifetime. So it doesn't really pertain to us, those values, but it may be good to see the last raid that someone went on or something like that, as far as going in and assigning them. We were talking about awards or like the little icons, whatever you want to call them, for when people participated in a raid. If you click on it, you'll be able to easily see who attended the raid. If we go to members, let's click on Dread, and we'll see that he attended a raid on that day, so we know, like, hey, he can get this icon or that icon if there's more than one or what have you. We'll go back. So again, you add an event if you don't already have a team or an event created. If you're just continually adding raids for an event that already exists, like Hits Widowmakers is having another raid next week, again, you just hit the add raid button, type it in. If you have a specific thread that you want, you can paste the link there, and people will be able to find it when they click on the raid. So yeah, that's how you use the raid module. If you have any questions or comments, add them below. As before, if you PM me with a question, I will most likely post it in the thread, because if you have the question, other people have the question. Alright, let me know if you guys think this is a good alternative to using the calendar system. I haven't seen raids pop up on the calendar system yet, so I'm just still a little maybe behind on that conversation. But that is all for the raid module, and you guys have a good night.